Crybaby Lane was, for many years, an enigma. It was a Halloween-themed horror movie made by Nickelodeon that was directed by Peter Lauer. It aired for the first, and for a while, the only time, on the 28th of October, 2000. The plot concerns two teenage boys conducting a seance with two girls they're trying to impress, unknowingly bringing back the dead spirit of an evil Siamese twin who turns everything he touches evil as well, causing havoc in the town. To restore goodness, the teens must cut out the root of the heart belonging to the good twin that the evil one was separated from. Yeah, that's pretty dark for a kids' movie. For unknown reasons, the film was never broadcast outside of the United States, and after its one and only airing, it was put on the shelf with no home media release and remained lost for a decade. The film was originally envisioned as a $10 million budget horror movie in the same vein as a Blumhouse film. Not too cheap, not too expensive to make. But Paramount, Nickelodeon's parent company, decided against the idea, and the project was shelved. Nickelodeon decided to revive it as an $800,000 television film a year later, and this was agreed upon. The film's writers, Lauer and Robert Mittenthal, jumped at the chance to finally make the movie, so it was shot over 20 days in New Jersey, with pickup shots of landscapes taking place in Ohio's rural areas. The film's original premise was supposed to be both scary and child-friendly, even though the Siamese twins were said to have been separated by a rusty saw. The airing was speculated to have invoked a high number of parents to complain about the film's content, as they had found the film to be too inappropriate for children, which was Nickelodeon's primary audience. Thus, it was shelved and banned from ever airing again. But it gets weirder. Apparently, employees associated with Nickelodeon would deny the film existed entirely, while others active on forums between 2007 and 2011 claimed that they were aware of the film's existence, leaving it uncertain if the film ever even existed, although some documentation and a supposed screenshot proved the film did exist. No one really knew what to believe. As people became more interested, Nickelodeon branded the film a myth and claimed it never even aired. This was disproven, however, when Fire Salad Peach, a user on Reddit, claimed that she had a bootleg VHS copy of the film recorded during its original airing, and that she would later digitize and upload her copy of the film online. And the long-lost horror film was finally found again. The positive reception from fans and archivists who had desperately been searching for the film prompted Nickelodeon to finally rebroadcast it on TeenNick on the 31st of October, 2011. A representative for Nickelodeon later confirmed that the film was never actually banned, lost, or destroyed, but was simply forgotten about, and employees who denied its existence probably just didn't know that it existed. Peter Lauer also claimed in an interview that he wasn't aware of a ban, but that he simply thought the film had failed and been forgotten by the network. So he moved on and didn't look back, as any director would. Because of all this, Crybaby Lane gained a massive cult following, and remains an interest amongst lost media enthusiasts, Nickelodeon viewers, and horror film fans. It was also rebroadcast twice in 2015, once in 2016, and twice in 2017, and is fully available to view in 1080p HD online. The supposed screenshot even inspired a creepypasta urban legend about white-eyed children. But what about the film itself? Well, it's okay. It's actually kind of creepy and has some interesting horror content. It tries to be a comedy and succeeds most of the time. The acting is okay, and the grey atmosphere creates an uneasy feeling that suits the white-eyed villains nicely. I thought the funeral home guy was a little bit weird and had some slightly noncy undertones to his character, but I guess he was just a creepy old eccentric. He wasn't funny, but he was there. It's still a horror film for kids that aired on Nickelodeon in 2000, so it's not the scariest or the most well-crafted of films. The special effects aren't great and it's a little bit corny, but that's why it's so damn enjoyable. Those glowing worms certainly added a charm to it, and oftentimes it reminded me of the 1990s Goosebumps television show, which I loved as a kid. Good movie. Good thing it's found now. So everyone remembers iCarly, right? We all love it? Yes? We're in agreement? Okay, good. When iCarly sadly ended in 2012, Gibby was intended to succeed Carly before Sam and Kat were. The self-titled cancelled spin-off was to focus on Gibby, who gets sentenced to detention after his pet weasel, which he illicitly brought to class, bites his teacher on the butt. Ugh. Gibby works out a deal with Principal Franklin to work in the middle school cafeteria instead. While there, he saves 4 bullying victims by pretending to be their friend. Afterwards, they convince him to hang out with them at the Bixby Rec Centre, where they befriend one of the employees and save Gibby when a pair of burglars take him hostage. Jesus. While Gibby became more and more of a fan favourite throughout iCarly's run, Nickelodeon did not greenlight his show for whatever reason, instead opting to go with only Sam and Cat. It is unknown if any other iCarly characters were intended to appear, although given Sam and Cat featured a crossover with Freddie and Nora returning, it's possible that a crossover would have been on the cards if both shows were simultaneously successful. With Noah Monk doing his own thing nowadays, iCarly having its own new era of life, and Dan Schneider...
He fell off. He really did fall off.
The pilot faded into obscurity. The only official mention Dan ever made about the pilot was a compliment directed towards Noah on Twitter while he was editing it. In the following years, only a couple of images surfaced online, like cast photos and the official logo. In 2019, Dan Warp Shows shared a full script description and 3 pages of the script. In 2020, a Twitter user named Larry PDHD made a tweet claiming to own the script to the pilot episode after winning it in a Nickelodeon trivia contest, but he didn't want to share it for fear of copyright issues. So, user CineDocs started searching for the script, and after posting about it in the official iCarly subreddit, user Bailey Hoare contacted him and sold the script to him. This script matched with the pages posted by Dan Warp Show, and with behind-the-scenes photos. Bailey Hoare said that they got the script from a friend, Sclapre, who got it from a Nickelodeon trivia contest. CineDocs have since shared the script with the public. In 2022, Quentin Reviews posted screenshots of the Gibby pilot on his Twitter. He claimed that a subscriber, who had a mum working on the pilot, sent him the pictures. In Quentin's later video, The Scandal of Sam and Cat, he shared some more screenshots along with sharing more information he had learned about the pilot through a subscriber. On the 6th of October, 2023, YouTuber Media Garage uploaded the full pilot from his collection onto his YouTube channel, rendering the full pilot found, but unfortunately it was taken down by said user due to fearing a copyright strike, which is understandable. The pilot was, however, successfully archived by various people and was shared across social media and various file and video sharing platforms, such as Mega and Archive.org. SpongeBob is loved by both adults and children alike, with people in the former category enjoying it for its surprisingly creative, surreal, and clever sense of humour and numerous memorable characters, and people in the latter category enjoying it for those reasons, in addition to it mostly being brightly coloured nonsense with lots of slapstick and yelling. There's one character in all of SpongeBob, however, who everyone seems to agree is either the best or second best to one Sheldon J. Plankton: Squidward Tentacles. Son, friend, cashier, and mediocre clarinet player. Squidward was at one point so popular that he got his own short-lived 30-second-long spin-off surrounding Astrology, during which he would humorously educate kids on what the different signs of the zodiac meant, with each sign being represented by a character from the show. Only 6 of the 12 signs were turned into these shorts: Cancer, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Leo. Libra, Virgo, Aquarius, Capricorn, Aries, and Scorpio were never covered before the shorts were ultimately cancelled for unknown reasons. The only source of the missing shorts' existence were unverified Wikipedia contributions and German wiki articles created for the German version of the SpongeBob SquarePants wiki. It was said that Libra was going to be Squidward himself's sign, while Virgo was going to be Pearl. While SpongeBob as Sagittarius, Patrick as Taurus, and Plankton as Leo were redesigned to look like the symbols, Mr. Krabs, Sandals, and 2 ambulance fish were represented in their normal designs as Cancer, Pisces, and Gemini, respectively. For years, the shorts were very obscure and hard to come by, mainly because after being rebroadcast consistently on Nicktoons from 2002 to 2005, the only copies found were low-quality VHS rips, some of which were dubbed into other languages such as German and Russian. When all shorts that were confirmed to exist were found in English, however, fans weren't satisfied, with some believing that the still missing signs did exist. This, however, would later be proven false. On the 17th of February 2019, a Russian admin on Encyclopedia SpongeBobia named Candy Katie added information to the wiki's Astrology with Squidward article that created a new lead. The user's edits added information about the closing seconds of a 2005 Nickelodeon Germany promo for SpongeBob SquarePants, in which a small snippet of Squidward in SpongeBob's house wearing his turban was shown. The scene, given its low-quality animation and background design, appears to come from SpongeBob's Nicktoons Summer Splash, a programming block that Nickelodeon aired during the summers of 2000 and 2001. The discovery of this clip increased the possibility of more segments existing, but this was not fully confirmed at the time, as the clip has no audio and is allocated to a very small section of the frame, revealing very few details. On the 8th of April, 2019, Vincent Waller confirmed that no other shorts exist other than the ones that had already been posted online, and on the 2nd of February 2020, the official SpongeBob SquarePants YouTube channel uploaded a compilation of all 6 previously found clips, interspersed with clips from the TV show. A lot of parts are cut out though, meaning you're better off watching the HD upscaled versions found by fans for a more honest experience. Either way, this formerly obscure lost media has effectively been found. David Lynch is one of the biggest cult filmmakers of all time. He's best known for his creepy, bizarre, surreal, deranged, disturbing, comical, sometimes edgy, sometimes silly, always impressive films and shorts that contain various themes such as human sexuality, anxiety, depression, insecurity, being an outcast, and God knows what else. He's an oddball and his films represent it. One of my personal favourites is Blue Velvet, undoubtedly one of his best. Lynch had just come back from the disaster that was the original Dune movie, a 4 out of 10 story with 8 out of 10 special effects that were genuinely impressive and incredible for the time. Visually, it was a masterpiece. In terms of everything else, I really don't know what was going on when they were making that film. At least Dennis seems to know what he's doing with them. Blue Velvet was an all-round masterpiece with only one scene I didn't like that much, but that's a whole nother video. It's a fantastic film, but it actually isn't the intended final product. Lynch was obliged by the production company to make a modestly budgeted mystery thriller film that ran for 2 hours. In fact, the film is exactly 2 hours long, right down to the last frame. Not a second longer, not a second less. Although it was supposed to be 4 hours long, or 3 hours and 52 minutes. These deleted scenes included more subplots and characters, including Jeffrey's college girlfriend, additional scenes with Sandy's boyfriend Mike, and an explanation behind how the ear wound up in the field. While Lynch was interested in creating a special edition DVD with all the deleted scenes included from day one, according to him, he couldn't find the footage. Since the production company had gone bankrupt, the deleted material went missing and nobody could remember where they were stored. Since they were thought to be missing forever, the special edition DVD released in 2002 included a recreation of the lost scenes, utilising production stills and screen grabs that were found in various film magazines. For a while, this was thought to be the only way that these scenes could ever be enjoyed, and no audio was known to exist either. In 2011, for the film's first official Blu-ray release, it was announced that the missing scenes had indeed been found, restored, and re-edited into a 52-minute collection of the removed scenes and characters. While uploads of the full cut are usually taken down not long afterwards, some of the individual scenes can be found online, and the Blu-ray is still available for purchase and can be watched with ease. No full 4-hour director's cut has been produced as of 2024, and it most likely never will. The Fantastic Four is a low-budget feature film which was completed and supposed to be released in 1994. It was produced by Roger Corman, famous for his low-budget productions, and Bernard Eichinger, who also produced the Fantastic Four movies that we all know and love so dearly. The film was based on the popular comic book series of the same name by Marvel Comics and featured the origin of the Fantastic Four and their first battle with the evil Doctor Doom and a mysterious mole-man-like creature. Production began on the 28th of December 1992, under music video director Oli Sassone. Storyboards were drawn by artist Pete Von Scholly. The production was shot over the course of 25 days on the Concord Pictures soundstage in Venice, California, as well as in Agora, California for a spacecraft crash scene, the Loyal Marymount campus for a lab explosion scene, and the former Pacific Stock Exchange building in downtown Los Angeles for team meeting scenes. A 1993 magazine article gave a tentative release date of Labor Day weekend 1993. That summer, trailers ran in theaters and on the VHS tapes of the movie Carnosaur. Cast members promoted the film at a clip screening at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles and at the San Diego Comic-Con International. By this time, the world premiere was announced to take place at the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota, on the 19th of January 1994, with proceeds from the event earmarked for the charities Ronald McDonald House and the Children's Miracle Network. Then Eichinger later announced that the film would not be released. Following the announcement of the cancellation of the film's release, a rumour spread that the studio intended this version of the Fantastic Four to be the film equivalent of an ashcan copy, which means they had the legal rights to create a film based on the Fantastic Four, but they were not ready to produce a big-budget film. However, they needed to produce something or else they would lose the legal right to the characters. According to this narrative, the studio allegedly misled everyone involved in the making of the film by letting them believe it was going to be a genuine release rather than a way to maintain their license on the property. Producer Roger Corman has since stated he agrees with this narrative. Some cast and crew imply Corman had the power to retain control over the film, but chose not to. He seemed to sign off and financially profit from the sale of the film reels of the movie to producers Avi Arad and Bernard Eichinger, including all the original film stock, way after the alleged conspiracy against the film took place. Corman has since called the pirated release of the movie a theft. The director of the film, Sassone, claims Corman consciously leveraged the existence of a finished film for purely financial reasons, and without much concern for anything else. Knowing Hollywood, this is probably the most realistic explanation. The star of the film, Alex Hyde White, however, has stated in interviews that he doesn't buy the myth that the film was ever intended to be released from the onset. He calls such claims a conspiracy theory looking for a simpler answer to a complex situation. Hyde White suggests Avi Arad was the only person proven to have hostility towards the film. He also suggested there was a fork in the road at some point about the film's release. He further suggested the aggressive campaign by cast and crew to market the film without the studio's blessing was the ultimate catalyst for the studio's decision not to release it. Many former cast and crew saw the movie as a major break and a way to boost their resume, and so they took money out of their own pockets to improve the film and advertise it. The VP of marketing at the studio behind the film, named Jonathan Fernandez, contradicts Hyde White and states he believes the dominant narrative that the film was never intended to be released. Marvel expert and author Sean Howe claims the catalyst for the cancellation was Avi Arad hearing about the Mall of America premiere of the movie from a random child. Arad claimed he subsequently burned the original celluloid of the film. While his purchase is not disputed, the cast and crew of the film think he is exaggerating and estimate that the original 35mm film is in a Marvel-owned warehouse somewhere. It was hypothesized the film was initially copied via telesign a few days before a private screening, and that this produced the many subsequent VHS bootlegs which circulated before 2004. A VHS copy transfer was eventually uploaded to MySpleen and has since been mirrored to other video sharing websites such as YouTube and Dailymotion. These leaks have led to the film achieving a significant cult following to the point that the stars started being recognized by fans in public. The poor quality nth generation copy being leaked further solidified the fanbase. A documentary about the 1994 Fantastic Four called Doomed was released in 2015. It sheds more light into where the bootlegs probably came from. Sassone states he thinks all bootlegs originated from a rogue employee at Lightning Dubs, which was creating dubs for his own personal use. In the same documentary, Sassone recalls hunting the original film prints in Roger Corman's storage room in Venice to release without permission via telesign, but he found nothing. Most or all copies of the movie currently available on the internet for free, as of 2024, are of unknown generation and are poor quality. Some YouTube projects involve digital tampering of VHS copies of unknown origin to improve the picture quality. Cast and crew estimate that the attempt to censor the film led to more viewership than would have occurred if the film had an official release, which, given people love the obscure, could very well be true. The producers of the film Doomed later released what they claim is a full digital transfer of the original 3-4-inch U-matic layoff from telesign, which all bootlegs of Fantastic Four originated from. If this is true, the copy available at doomedfilms.bigcartel.com is the best quality, unaltered, full version of the film that will ever exist unless an official release utilizing the original negatives happens, but based on the film's history, they will most likely never be found. But anything could happen. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids was an animated series produced by Filmation and authored by conviction disturbingly overturned sex offender Bill Cosby. The show was based on Cosby's childhood memories and his stand-up comedy acts from the 1960s. It ran from 1972 to 1984. The episodes consisted of the characters getting into trouble and learning a lesson, as every good old kids show does. Many people looking back do not consider this series to be very child-friendly, other than the fact it's a cartoon. The series had episodes pertaining to STDs, racism, pornography, and most infamously, an episode on gang violence in which a child is shot and killed trying to protect his older brother. The series is also accused of handling some topics poorly despite good intentions, such as a special needs child being referred to as retarded, and a white supremacist painting xenophobic slogans portrayed as a wacky comedic situation. Jesus Christ. Kind of edgy shit when you think about it. Either way, the episode Busted was used to teach children about the consequences of breaking the law. The characters visit a real prison and learn about the hardships of being an inmate. The original airing of the episode contained uncensored swearing from one of the prisoners, but later airings were censored. In the live-action introduction, Bill Cosby even mentions the usage of swearing as a form of content warning for kids watching, which was kept intact even in the censored episode. Until 2022, no recordings or clips of the original airing had surfaced online. Even the DVD releases do not have the uncensored version. It's unclear if the studio has a copy of the uncensored scene, but there's a slim chance that the censoring was still on the original tape. Since the episode aired in 1984, there was always a possibility that a VHS recording did exist somewhere. And it did. Does something. On the 10th of June, the VHS copy of the original airing that contained the uncensored version was uploaded by Internet Archive user Rich Gangster. According to the description, their uncle had recorded the episode back when it first aired, but there aren't any commercials or channel idents on the tape, meaning that it is likely a bootlegged copy of the episode's original master. How he obtained it? I have no idea, but if he tells us, he'll probably go to prison, so let's just leave it there. Sometime in 2010, animation legend Alex Hirsch began working on a pitch pilot for what would soon become the hit Disney mystery series Gravity Falls. Created in Adobe Flash, the pilot ran for 13 minutes and was essentially a cut-down version of the first official episode, Tourist Trapped. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything conducted by Hirsch, when asked if the unaired pilot would ever be released, he replied that it would be like showing you awkward photos from my high school prom, and that he wouldn't want it to be seen. He even referred to it as a dark secret. Additionally, the pilot used licensed songs that Hirsch didn't have the rights to use commercially, meaning that there may have been legal problems with releasing it, on DVD or otherwise. Despite that, on the 25th of July, 2016, Hirsch revealed that if the puzzle that was part of the unofficial cipher hunt was completed, then he would release the pilot online. It was completed about a week later, and on the 3rd of August, 2016, it was released on the Mystery of Gravity Falls website under the username of Return Backwards and the password of To the Past Again 3. It was also uploaded to YouTube with little to no difficulty or conflict, albeit private. Though it was unknown at that time, the pilot that Hirsch had uploaded was not the complete version that was animated, as more animated footage and various storyboards of the pilot resurfaced and suggested that the pilot had more to offer than what Hirsch had uploaded. For a further 8 years, the pilot remained only partially found. Then, in June 2022, more footage of the pilot was rediscovered on an animation reel from 2011 that was uploaded onto YouTube in 2016 by the animator Alfredo Casano. 2 years later, on the 25th of April 2024, the full Gravity Falls unaired pitch pilot, along with several other Disney original series pilots, were anonymously leaked online, making this piece of closely followed cult media found.